Hello everyone, welcome to Dulce Viaje, the podcast where we explore the sweetest flavors from around the world. Today we have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Mari.
And I'm Siri.
And I'm Ari.
So today we're going on a gastronomic journey to discover the most famous desserts from different countries. Each culture has its own way of creating sweet treats, and we're here to explore them all. Are you ready for a sweet tour?
So ready, I'm already craving something sweet.
Me too. Desserts have a special way of making any moments better. But before we start, let's talk about something important. What do you love most about desserts?
Honestly, I really love chocolate. Any dessert with a chocolate touch instantly becomes my favorite. Whether it's cake, mousse, or even chocolate covered fruit, it's just perfect.
I totally agree with you, Siri. I'm also a chocolate lover. And if I had the chance to try every type of chocolate from around the world, I'd do it without hesitation. Dark, milk, white, I love them all.
I think the chocolate is one of best things in the world, but I especially love in cakes. Especially when they have a rich, creamy feeling. There's something so satisfying about biting into the soft, chocolatey desserts.
So we're officially a team of chocolate lovers. Now you know what to get us as a gift. But beyond chocolate, desserts tell a story. They carry tradition, history, and a little bit of magic from each place.
That's so true. Some desserts have been around for centuries, passed down from generation to generation.
And others have evolved over time, blending flavors and ingredients from the different cultures.
Exactly. So whether you have a sweet tooth like us or you're just curious about the world cuisine, this episode is going to be a delicious ride. Let's dive into our first stop.
America!
Let's start in Latin America, where desserts are all about flavor and traditions. Where should we begin?
Brazil, with its classic paqueteiro, those irresistible little chocolate and condensed milk balls. I don't know where anyone who doesn't love brigadeiro. It's like Brazilian rite of passage to try it.
Oh, brigadeiro is one of my favorites, but Brazil has so much more to offer in the dessert department. I love the idea of the traditional vaqueiro. It's one of those desserts that takes you straight to the heart of Brazilian cuisine with extremely creamy texture and unique twists depending on the region.
I've heard that pagueiro has a sweet and smooth flavor, similar to the pudding or flan, but with a denser texture. Depending on the region, it can include. There can include or coconut spices like cinnamon or even fruits like mango or guava. It sounds like a real treat.
Exactly. The variety is what makes it so interesting. It's like a blank canvas where you can add different flavors and textures. Imagine enjoying a warm slice of bagueiro after a meal. It must be heavenly. And in Brazil, you find it often in festive occasions like birthdays, weddings, or holiday feasts.
I think it will be perfect with a cup of Brazilian coffee. Brazil is known for its amazing coffee, and adding to a traditional dessert sounds like a perfect combination. I can almost taste it now.
Definitely. Brazilian coffee is known for being bold and strong. Pairing that with something rich like a baguette sounds like the ultimate indulgence. We should definitely try making it one day. And in the next episode, We can tell everyone, how I tasted along with another desserts we make.
I'm already excited about that idea. Imagine making it together and then comparing it something like tres leches from Mexico. Speaking of which, have you ever tried tres leches cake? Is one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, tres leches cake from Mexico. That's another classic. The sponge cake soaked in three kinds of milk, like sweetened condensed milk, evaporated milk, and heavy cream. It's like a rich, dreamy dessert that you can just have once.
That's the magic of tres leches. It's the perfect balance of the begin moisted yet unsoggy, and if it's topped with a little bit of the whipped creamy or the fruits. It's like the perfect ending to milk. It's so popular across Mexico and Central America, but I also know that it's a huge hit at celebrations and family gatherings.
I remember that the first time I tried tres leches, I thought it would be too sweet, but it was just the right amount, you know? I actually had a friend wedding, and they served it a mini individual cup so everyone could enjoy their own little piece of heaven.
Oh, that's an amazing. The best part of is that it's a dessert everyone loves. Whether it's from a formal event or just casual dinners at home, we can definitely try making it in the future.
Oh, and I've got to bring of the alfajors from Argentina. Have you tried them? There, there's these soft cookies filled with the dulce de leche. The combination of the chewy cookie and creamy fillings is divine.
Oh my god, I love how versatile alfajores are. Some are coated in chocolate, some in powdered sugar, and there are even versions that include coconut. It's like you can even have enough of them. They're great for any occasion.
You know, I've heard that every region in Argentina has its own twist on alfajores. I've always wanted to try the ones from Cordoba, which are supposedly the best.
I think we should definitely explore those regional variations. Now back to Brazil. Aside from the bagueiro and brigadeiro, I also love how Brazilian desserts incorporate tropical fruits like the passion fruits, guava, and coconut. One that comes to mind is the quindim, custards like desserts made with the coconut and egg yolks. It's so vibrant and delicious.
I've tried cleansing before, and it's like a little burst of sunshine. It's so rich, but the coconut flavor is refreshing at the same time. It's such a unique combination of flavors.
And in every bite, you can get that chewy coconut texture mixed with the smoothness of the custards. It's like everything you love about tropical flavors grabbing in one dessert.
We could do an entire episode just of Brazilian desserts. There are also many delicious options, but let's switch gears and talk about the United States with desserts like New York cheesecake reigns supreme.
New York cheesecake is creamy and tangy with a perfect graham cracker crust. You could add any kind of topping to it, like fruit, caramel, or even chocolate, our favorite. So each bite feels like a celebration.
I never tried, but it sounds like delicious. I imagine the richness of the cheesecake is perfectly balanced by the tartness of a berry compote or something like that.
My mouth is watering already. Let's definitely make that 4-hour desserts tasting sessions. We got quite the list now.
Now, let's fly to Europe, where desserts are both elegant and traditional. There's something magical about European sweets.
In France, macarons and creamy brew are the famous worldwide.
Macaroons, those little colorful meringue-based cookies with a delicate filling in the middle. I love the crunchy outer shell with the chew inside. And there are so many different flavors to choose from: raspberry, pistachio, salted caramel, chocolate, and more.
I always admire how they look so intricate, almost like works of art. It's incredible how they manage to get that crispy outside and soft, chewy interior. The balance is perfect.
You are right, and the things that what makes macarons so impressive, the craftsmanship being each one. They take time and the skill to make, so they really feel like a treat when you have them. I think we should try making them together too.
Creme brulee is another French classic. The contrast between the silky smooth custard and the crispy caramelized sugar on the top is what makes it so irresistible.
It's kind of dessert that feels like a luxury, right? You can even hear that crack when you break the caramelized top. It's so satisfying that I can imagine enjoying that after a fine French meal.
Absolutely, and what's amazing about creme brulee, it's how it can be flavored in so many ways. Vanilla is traditional, but you can add lavender, coffee, or even chocolates for a twist.
Oh, I'm getting excited just thinking about it. But I have to ask, what about Italy? The Italians really know how to desserts, right?
Of course, tiramisu is the quintessential Italian dessert. You've got those coffee-soaked ladyfingers layered with mascarpone cheese and dust with cocoa powder. It's rich but not overwhelming, and it's such a perfect balance of flavors.
It's one of those desserts that gets better as it exists, right? The longer it rests in the fridge, the more the flavors melt together. I always feel like tiramisu is the best thing to have with hot cup of the coffee in the afternoon.
Exactly. I love how the coffee flavor shines through in tiramisu without being too overpowering. It's a great dessert to have after dinner with friends or family.
And it's surprisingly easy to make at home, which is why it's a go-to for many people when they want to impress a guest without too much hassle.
So true.
Moving on to Spain.
Woo!
Flan and churros with hot chocolate are just amazing, and I think we will talk about churros forever, especially since each country has its own twist of them.
Spanish churros are a little thicker and they're often served with a thick cup of hot chocolate for dipping. But in Mexico, churros tend to be thinner and they're often sprinkled with cinnamon sugar.
Wait. And don't forget the stuffed churros in Coyoacán. I had some with chocolate and vanilla filling once, and they were absolutely incredible. The contrast of the crunchy exterior with the gooey interior is just perfect.
I've heard so much about the churros in Coyoacán. I'd love to try them one day.
We're basically becoming chefs now, with all the desserts you're planning to make.
Absolutely.
Now, let's cross the world to Asia. In Japan, mochi and sticky sweet delight.
Mochi is such a unique dessert. It's made from glutinous rice and it's chewy and sweet. Some mochi has filling like red bean paste, while others are dusted with matcha powder or even stuffed with ice cream.
I always wanted to try mochi ice cream. It seemed like a fun and refreshing way to enjoy these traditional desserts. Plus, there are so many flavors to choose from. I've heard seen matcha, mango, and even red bean mochi ice cream.
I think mochi has such an interesting texture. It's chewy and the filling is often sweet and supple, which makes it the great contrast to the together rich desserts and the variety of flavors in the indoors.
And then there's India with gulab jamun. Those fried dough balls soaked in syrup. It's such a decadent dessert, perfect for festivals like the
Diwali, right?
or weddings.
Yeah. It's sweet, syrupy, and rich, and is often served warm. I think it's one of those desserts you either love or to experience once, just for the sake of trying it.
I've heard that the Hoba Homon is a must try, even though it's very sweet. The syrup is made with a rose water, which gives it a floral touch that really makes it stand out.
That's so interesting, and I love to try it just to experience something so different from what we have here. The syrup soap texture sounds amazing.
Moving on the Middle East, baklava is a dessert fitted for royalty. Those layers of crispy filo, pastry, honey, and nuts are such a delicate combination of flavors.
If you try baklava once, and they're honestly unforgettable. It's so rich, yet each bite is the perfect combination of the sweet and crunchy.
Yeah.
It's one of those desserts that feels special.
Absolutely. You can just have one piece and you know you want to savor every bite.
And baklava comes in different regional variations, sometimes with pistachios, sometimes with walnuts. It's fascinating how many ways you can prepare it.
We talked about the Brazil, Mexico, and Argentina, but America is huge and has so many incredible desserts.
Totally. For example, in Peru, one of the most traditional desserts is suspiro a la limeña. It's a caramel like dulce de leche cream topped with a merengue made from egg whites and a touch of port wine. It's so creamy and sweet that it truly lives up to its name.
Oh, that sounds so delicious. And we can forget picarons from Peru. They like donuts made from pumpkin and sweet potato, fried until crispy and drizzled with chancaca syrup.
And speaking of
Yeah, you can laugh about it.
that's a funny name.
Yeah.
And speaking of traditional desserts, in Chile, they have the famous mode of the huesillo. It's not exactly a dessert, but rather a sweet drink with the dried peaches and the cooked wheat grains soaked in the chacaca syrup. It's the refreshing and super traditional.
And in Colombia, there's a dessert that has always caught my attention. Obleas con arequipe. They're in thin wafer cookies filled with dulce de leche, cheese, jam, or even shredded coconut.
Yes, they're super popular and can be found at any fair or plaza. Another delicious Colombian dessert is postre de natas. I heard it's made from the layers of cream that form on boiled milk mixed with sugar and cinnamon.
And in Venezuela, quesillo is a classic dessert. It's a very similar to flan, but with a lighter texture and a sweetness that makes it irresistible.
Oh, another Venezuelan favorite is torta tres leches, which is similar to the Mexican version, but sometimes includes rum or spices for an extra twist.
So as we heard, America is full of amazing sweets. But now let's move on to the United States, where New York cheesecake is one of the biggest stars.
We talked about France, Italy, and Spain, but Europe is the best, and every country has its own unique sweets.
Oh, one example is Germany. One of the most favorite desserts is Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte. Like it's a black forest cake. It's a chocolate cake layered with whipped cream, cherries, and cherry liqueur.
And in Austria, Sachertorte is another classic. It's a chocolate cake with a thin layer of apricot jam and a glassy chocolate glaze.
We also can't forget apple strudel, which is very popular in both Austria and Germany. It's a this pastry filled with apples, with apples, raisins, and cinnamon served with the powdered sugar and something cream or the ice cream.
Going to Portugal, they have the famous pastéis de nata. These are puff pastries, tarts filled with custard and topped with a sprinkle of cinnamon. They are must try in any Portuguese cafe.
So now let's move on to Greece. Galakotouroukeo is an amazing dessert. It's a semolina and milk custard wrapped in phyllo dough and soaked in honey and lemon syrup.
I love that in Europe, so many desserts combine pastry, cream, and syrup. It's a trend across the region. We already mentioned Japan and India, but Asia has incredible variety of desserts.
Yeah, for example, in China, one of the most popular desserts is dango. These are glutinous rice dumplings squared on a stick and covered in a sweet sauce glaze.
And in Thailand, they have sticky rice with mango. This is sticky rice cooked in coconut milk and served with the fresh mango slices. It's refreshing and so delicious.
In the Philippines, halo-halo is iconic dessert. It's a mix of shaved ice and the condensed milk, sweet toppings, colored jellies, fruits, and oval ice cream. It's a burst of textures and the flavors.
That's so delicious. But let's move on to the Middle East, in Turkey. Besides baklava, they have a nunefe, that is a dessert that made with a thin kataifi, topped filled with melted cheese and soaked in sugar syrup with a hint of rose water.
And in Iran, falude is a very ancient dessert. It's made of starchy noodles served in rose water and lime syrup, often accompanied by ice cream.
Africa also has unique desserts. In the Egypt, babosa is very popular. It's a semolina cake soaked in the syrup and decorated with almonds.
No, wait to hear that in South Africa, mova pudding is a traditional dessert. It's a spongy cake with caramelized cream sauce, often served with warm with ice cream or custard.
Wow, that sounds so delicious. And we've traveled the entire world of desserts. Which one would you choose?
For all the desserts, I think I'd go with the tiramisu. I love coffee.
Definitely, for me, tres leches is still the king. It's the perfect balance of the light and the indulgent.
And I will go for macarons. They're elegant, delicious, and they visually stunning.
And what about you? Which desserts would you love to try? Let us know on the social media. We'd love to hear you told us and the suggestions.
Yeah, of course. We'll catch you on the next episode of Dulce Viaje.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok as dulce.viaje. So see you next time.
Bye!